Out Emerald.
Yep.
So, first of all, they need to get sub 25 house, because if they don't, their run is definitely invalid.
Yeah, the coveted 24 house exit.
Let's see. Ooh. Bamboo
So
splicing.
close. Quite the sink early on.
Yeah.
So we're going to see both runners making their way to the beach as quickly as possible to get the sword. There's not really a whole lot they can do until they get it. We're not going to see any tricks really up in this section, so I'm just going to give a quick overview of a really important but seemingly minor trick that we're going to see our runners doing throughout the run, which we call wall clipping. Now, you might see as they're moving around the world, sometimes you see Link's sprite overlap with a wall, with a railing. It turns out that Link's hitbox is a decent size smaller than his sprite, and when you walk into a solid object at a 90-degree angle, you can actually clip 3 or 2 pixels into the hitbox of that object, depending whether it's up, down, left, or right. And we do that early on just to save, frames of movement. Wait, BambooShadow's already saved and quit, and aulos too.
Aulos too, yeah.
Wow, that is some insane rupee luck. So, you guys probably missed it, but geez, look at that. So both runners used their shields to try to collect rupee drops from the enemies, not just once, but twice, essentially duplicating them. And they both did it extremely quickly, then got their last remaining rupees from the grass there, and are off to an amazing start, both of them. It's actually funny because they both probably think they're ahead of each other now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing.
So we need 10 rupees in the first place to be allowed to buy these bombs, which we'll see them doing, and saving and quitting before the game has a chance to actually remove the rupees. So this allows them to get the bombs, but then also save their 10 rupees right now to be getting the powder from the trendy game.
Yeah, they need 10 because if they don't have 10, the shopkeeper is like, you can't buy these, go get money. Alright, so now they're grabbing the powder, neither of them missed it. It's a miracle.
Yeah. Probably one of the most embarrassing things you can do early on is miss that powder.
Yep. So they both actually cut the top push first. That's a good meme.
Oh yeah. I think it is technically faster. I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, so now they're gonna grab some seashells. And I don't think we've talked about this, but they need 20 seashells to get the level 2 sword later on. There's a total of 26 in the game, but you only need to get 20.
And we're going to see our first example coming up of a bomb trigger. Normally you'd have to sprinkle powder on the raccoon up here to transform him back into Terran to continue on. But by placing a bomb at the very edge of the transition, thus placing a bomb on one screen and then immediately on the next, you can trick the game into the way the game handles objects, you can trick it into activating that Terran object, and you can just get through that screen quicker. So we're going to see a number of those through the run. Some save a lot more time than we just saw there.
And both of them just invalidated their runs because they didn't pit walk. The most important trick.
Definitely some early game swag.
Definitely.
To answer in chat, it's not that 100% and No Thief are incompatible. You could get a deathless ending in 100%, but it would require only stealing from the shop once and then never going back in ever again. Which in this case would mean saving up 200 rupees to buy the shovel before then stealing the bow, which is just a lot slower.
Yeah, pretty horrible if you ask me.
It would be cool to have a category like that, but I guess we kind of do in Legacy, but mostly a meme because it takes so much longer. Ooh, great bump from Aulos, dumping both those spiny beetles right into the hole. Whereas we see Bamboo going for more of the tried and true strategy of bumping them and hitting them with the sword.
Yeah, okay, so now they're, ooh, Aulos missed it. They're gonna, at least he didn't, but Bamboo is going to damage boost off of these traps, and then just make it across like that.
Yeah, this is a surprisingly easy part of the run to die in, because we kind of were reckless with our health to save a bit of time, but having only 3 hearts doesn't leave us much for the boss. And Moldorm, the boss of D1, does 1 heart per hit, so even at full health you can only take 2 hits before dying.
And here we have super jumps, which is essentially when they clip into the wall, and then they jump against the wall and use their sword or arrows away from the wall. They trick the game into thinking they're jumping off of a ledge, and it lets them jump in midair.
Yeah, so in this game, a wall or a ledge, it's the same tile. It just all has to do with what side of it is Link on. And by wall clipping into the wall, you confuse the game into thinking that you're touching that tile even though you're on the wrong side of it, and thus you get a jump off of it even though you're on the wrong side. And we use that in a lot of places to go either farther than we should to save a little bit of time, or just simply go places that it's not meant to happen.
Yeah, and all those almost just fell down on Moldorm. He was really lucky to pull back from that.
And we see Bamboo's only 3 seconds behind at this point. They both have a really good start going here, I'd say.
Yeah, they do. You almost with that 2-bit jump. Saving the frames.
Aulos loves the little swag moves.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of swag from Aulos in this run.
Although hopefully not double D5 hookshot jump again, though.
Let's hope not. So you're grabbing these 50 rupees here, because they need to buy the frog song later, which costs 300, and they'll be getting 250 later in Color Dungeon.
Yeah, so we see them routing rupees as early as this point for getting a song in probably the last third of the run.
I think it's actually about halfway through. It doesn't matter.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
It is now. It used to be way later, but with the current route, it's pretty early.
I always have trouble keeping up.
Yeah, the route has changed a lot recently.
So we see Aulos here visiting this mouse in a funny camera shop, and we do this because this is one of those little features that was added in the DX remake. There's 12 photos that you can collect throughout the game, most of them involving little story cutscenes that add to the story. But you can't activate any of them unless you visit the mouse first and get him to unlock this little photo album. So it's very important that we do this now, not only because it's close by before getting Bow Wow, but also because it would completely destroy the route to have to go back there later, simply because you can't visit him with Bow Wow.
Yeah, if you forget that, it's just run over, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see someone in a race setting having to deal with that.
Yeah, that would be horrible. In a race, you could still save it, but it would just take forever.
Yeah, a lot of backtracking. We see both runners making short work of the Moblin King, or the Moblin boss, and rescuing Bow Wow. And the only, well, I suppose in 100% we do actually need to rescue him for the sake of the photo he gives us. But currently, Bow Wow is the only way that we can get into Dungeon 2. We don't have any items currently that can destroy these flowers, so Bow Wow is our gateway into here.
Also, neither of them seem to know about the quick setup for this. Like, there
Which
is
is
a setup
odd.
where you put it into the wall where Bow Wow usually eats it instantly.
Yeah, yeah, the setup is pretty consistent. I'd say like maybe 80% of the time it works.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it's just not a lot of people know about it.
yeah, but I mean, all things considered, they both had really good luck with regards to Bow Wow eating those flowers pretty quickly.
Yeah, they definitely did.
And we see both runners going for a bit of a modified bow and arrow strat in this dungeon, equipping the bow earlier and using it rather than the sword earlier on.
Yeah, aulos is currently has one more arrow than Bamboo does.
Also, I want to point out that Aulos has only one. Okay, yeah, Aulos only had one heart, which is very unusual and very dangerous. So I'm glad he grabbed that heart refill. But it
And
did bring
they
Bamboo closer.
they killed this mini boss so fast that the music literally just didn't start.
Yeah. So you can see why we get the bow and arrows as early as we can, because even compared to late game items, it does a ton of damage, and early game bosses or mini bosses just simply don't stand a chance.
Also, what they just did there was ghost skip, where they well, they both did it differently. Bamboo just hit them and they teleported to the other side of the room, where they thought the pathing to Link would be fastest to go left off screen, and they just went out of bounds and the game thought they were dead.
Yeah. There's a couple ways to abuse those ghosts, so kind of a silly room.
Yeah, it is.
And we see them getting the boss key there. They had to kill each of those 3 enemies in that very specific order. And they both got it really well, but sometimes bad enemy movement can really mess things up. They both tried the quick pot grab, but didn't quite get it. I think to get that pot grab, they have to press right as well as both buttons at on the same frame, or very close.
Okay, so now they're just gonna kind of sit there dodging fireballs from this guy. Then they're gonna clip into the wall, pick up the pod, throw it into the wall, boost them towards them with a bomb arrow, with a bomb, and then just kill them off with a bomb arrow. And normally you're supposed to throw this guy at the wall 3 times, but because it's clipped into the wall, it can't actually rebound, so it just gets hit 3 times immediately.
And Aulos mistiming the second bomb arrows, and you can see what happens. That second phase kind of gets away from you, and you have to wait for him to coalesce and attack you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Interestingly enough, he went for the sword spins to clean that up, but I think he should have used the extra arrow and simply finished it off quicker. I'm not really sure if he thought he was too tight on arrows, but
yeah, no, he could definitely have afforded to miss an arrow.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things where you definitely don't expect it to go wrong, so he just made the best of the bad situation.
Yeah. So yeah, now Aulos falling behind pretty far, but I'm sure he's gonna be able to catch up again.
Yeah, I'd say Aulos is about as far behind now as Bamboo was before Dungeon 2, so they're still quite close. I mean, as we saw, just a couple of mistakes caught Bamboo up, and the same could happen for Aulos here.
Yep. Nothing is decided until the end for this game. So Bamboo is now going to grab the bomb capacity upgrade. And he needs to be really careful with his menuing, because if he just straight up mashes, he's gonna get the powder upgrade.
And we very much want the bombs right now.
Yeah, and not getting a bomb upgrade here can lead to a lot of trouble.
And yeah, as asked in chat, we didn't quite explain it, but we saw the runners going all the way off to the east there, and then just suddenly saving and quitting after the waterfall. And that was because on that screen, there's a portal that they wanted to unlock for later, so they could return to that area much quicker later in the run.
It actually saves a second.
Well, the return is much quicker, but yeah, overall, it's about a second or two time saved.
Yeah. Okay, so now they're going to grab a seashell here. Let's hope Bao doesn't talk to them. Bao just kind of talks to you here for no apparent reason, and it's just horrible.
It's normally if there's a hidden seashell that you have to dig up, Bow Wow will kind of talk to you and tell you, dig here. But we already know it's there, so it's more of a nuisance than anything.
And they're actually opening up this cave early, and they're not doing it later because it just saves a menu.
Yeah, so we can't actually get the heart piece in that cave they opened until we get the Pegasus boots. But because we have to equip the bombs anyway to progress here, we might as well open the cave when we're walking by.
Also entering that phone booth to set a save point where they can save and quit to later.
So we've seen them between well, since D2 now, we've seen them go a little bit out of their way to collect some seashells already. So this is all part of their larger route to collect 20 seashells to get the level 2 sword. And we've specifically routed out to get 5 by this point. So we're going to see after this little photo cutscene with Richard, they're going to make their way to the Seashell Mansion. And the Seashell Mansion is where you get the sword at the very end of the game. But you also get some minor rewards if you visit at 5 or at 10 seashells. And those minor rewards are simply an extra seashell. So we've routed both of these minor rewards into the route. And
also
Bamboo
saving...
collecting...
Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, Bamboo simply collects that seashell and immediately saves and quits to go back to that telephone booth that he entered.
Yeah, and by saving and quitting, as soon as you pick it up, you actually skip a text box.
Yeah, there's a little bit of... The game still animates for a little bit while menus are popping up, so he kind of collected it as the menu was opening.
Yep. And this is Villa Skip, where they just keep on buffering the menu until they hear the falling sound, which will put them on the map tile, which is a solid tile, and it lets them transition down.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a really funny glitch, but by pausing on the same frame you fall, you kind of cancel the fall, but get pushed down to the tile below.
And I think Aulos got less buffers than Bamboo, so he's pulling ahead again.
Yeah.
Catching up.
Both pretty close in terms of buffers. Not spectacular, but you know, neither one of them got trolled too hard.
Yeah, and that skip is luck-based.
Yeah, entirely. I mean, we sort of know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's not something that we're currently able to react to or manipulate, so it's essentially as good as RNG.
Yeah, essentially the thing is you can only fall into a pit every other frame, and you have no control over what frame you pause on. Also opening this dungeon from the back because we can.
Yeah, the game only checks to see if you're touching that block while facing forward, so we simply use our sword to face up, wall clip into it, and we can unlock it from the other side, which saves a surprising amount of time.
So yeah, they're gonna be grabbing some extra kills here in D3, so they can get a piece of power in a second. Oh no, Bamboo, please. And piece of power increases your movement speed by 25% and doubles your damage, gives you knockback effect. And it's actually only viable in this dungeon because it drops every 30 kills. But if you save and quit, your kill count resets. And we save and quit a lot.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, the kill count actually increases as the game goes on, so it becomes less and less common to find them, essentially. And I don't remember if it's exactly 30 at this point in the run, but it's something around there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely 30 at this point.
Okay.
I don't know how many it is, but at a certain point, amount of hearts, it changes to 35, and then at a different point, it changes to 40. So Aulos and Bamboo both doing the Dongo skip here, or Dong skip, where they do a super jump and then spin slash to tink against the Dongos and just get thrown across the wall.
Yeah, for whatever reason, if you're kind of mid fall like that and you tank off of it,
Oh no,
and
Bamboo!
Bamboo soft locks. Oh my
No, he
gosh.
could have gone out, I think.
He should have tried to boots. He should have
Yeah,
tried to
maybe
dash out of it.
maybe he like saw his pixel and knew he couldn't. That's probably it.
Yeah, but you're right. That did look pretty close to the edge. But that is so unfortunate. That doesn't happen very often. Once you get the timing down for that trick, it's very uncommon to soft lock like that. But that means that Bamboo is not going to be getting piece of power for the boss now. He's not going to get enough kills.
That's
He's going to lose a bit more time there from that.
Yeah, that's just really, really painful to feel that in a race.
Yeah. But we are now going to see the quick kill from aulos because he does have the extra damage from piece of power. He's simply going to be able to break the blobs apart, damage them a couple times, and then have them land on his sword. And that's possible just simply because of the double damage that the sword does. It only takes 2 cycles to kill the boss. Whereas from Bamboo, we're likely going to see him, after he's split the blobs up, equip the feather and do spin jumps, or spin slashes while jumping. And to answer the question in chat, no, TGH is no longer the world record holder for Hundo. He has a very good run for an older route, but we've recently completely rerouted Hundo to save probably 2 or 3 minutes over TGH's old route. So the current world record holder is Seisei, with a 1 hour, 18 minute, and 41 second time.
Yeah, I do think, like, for the route he was using, TGH's run is quite insane.
Yeah, it was very good. Which is always the unfortunate thing when new tricks are found, because overall, you know, it's nice to save 3 minutes, but to invalidate such an awesome run, it's kind of rough.
Also, aulos getting the early cycle here.
Yeah, it's very tight timing to kind of dash through that first screen without getting hit by the spark, but we see aulos pulling it off. And yes, for those who don't know, BambooShadow is 3rd on the leaderboard currently, and aulos just yesterday got 4th place with his first submitted time. So they're both at a low. I think Bamboo is a 1:20:10 and aulos is a 1:20:17. So at least in terms of personal bests, they're very close.
Also, I believe aulos did it. I'm not sure. He went and talked to Terran, and then he buffered 2 save and quit menus, and then saved and quit to actually skip the cutscene. Bamboo is doing it now.
Yeah, so normally when you talk to Terran, and well, whether you have the stick or not, quirk of the game, you'll see Terran poke the hive, and the bees will chase him around the screen. So by saving and quitting right as we kind of give him the stick, it'll activate the flag for that screen, and then we can come back later and collect the honey without having to watch that whole little cutscene, which saves a surprising amount of time. I think it's just under 6 seconds. Someone was saying.
Yeah, it was timed today. I think it was about 6 seconds,
which is a crazy amount of time for something so simple.
Let's see if Bamboo gets the swag dash. Hey,
yeah. Yeah, I still don't really know how that works, but it's really fun to watch.
I just gotta hold up while closing the text. Then after.
And now aulos is going to trade that honey he just got to Chef Bear for the pineapple. And the only reason we want the pineapple here is because we require it in order to talk to Marin on the beach and take her on a date. We need that to get. There's 3 photos that we want to get with Marin, and it just so happens that the pineapple is that trigger point in the story for her to show up. So now that aulos has sort of cleaned up Animal Village there, he's coming back to Mid Village, and we're going to see him collect the ocarina right now. Simply as part of the 100% definition, we have to collect all items, including the ocarina, and we're going to be collecting all 3 of the ocarina songs as well. But as part of this village cleanup, we're going to see he's going to be going now up to sort of a little hidden area, the Fisherman's Pond, Not because we love minigames, but because one of the fish has a heart piece hidden inside of it.
Also, what Aulos did in Dreamshine and what Bamboo is about to do is what we call a naked super jump, where they like do some finicky inputs and just super jump without using an item.
Yeah,
It's
by
actually
being
a lot harder.
It is a lot harder, yeah. But just by being careful about what direction you're facing, you can super jump with only the feather, but they do it here because it saves a menu. Or two, rather. So we see Aulos grabbing that large fish hidden in that alcove there, gives him a heart piece, and luckily enough, it's our fourth heart piece of a heart container, and just by virtue of collecting it during this minigame, we save ourselves the little heart container collection jingle and cutscene. And we see
Also,
Bamboo going for that same fish now.
This cutscene is RNG. Need to point that out.
Yeah, for whatever reason, this cutscene with Bow Wow, the amount that he knocks you back is, and possibly even the time between hits, I'm not really sure, it's random. But we see both runners returning Bow so they can get the photo with him, going down and getting the Elrira photo while they're there, and now Aulos is going to go through and pick up Marin. But
I need to get a seashell first.
Yeah, so before he actually goes to Marin, he's going to come back to D1 here and grab this really obnoxious seashell that you'd probably never think to find by bonking a tree in an area you'd never go back to.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's really silly.
Alright, so now he's going to go and grab Marin.
Yep.
Bonk.
Yeah, Aulos not really, or maybe he screwed up the sword strats there with the dashing, but...
Yeah, he did.
And now we've got our cute little date cutscene with Marin.
Which takes a fucking freaking year.
It takes so long. Lots of text too, you can't just sort of sit through it, you have to mash through it.
Oh right, the seagulls on this screen are actually completely RNG. They will never move the same way.
Yeah, for some reason the developers of this game really like just sticking randomness into our cutscenes. Not that it really matters, of course, but...
I just see that as being like one of those things where someone's like, hey, you know what would be really funny? If we made that RNG.
Well, and who knows, it could screw up everything else.
Yeah. That's true.
So now that we've quote-unquote collected Marin, as the game seems to treat her, we visit the well, get flattened for a photo, grab a heart piece. We're now visiting the cliff by the beach to get a photo, and then we're going to see them head towards the rooster statue and get the third and final photo with Marin. And this is just a nice little cutscene. Marin and Link want to take a photo, but turns out Terran's walking around and doesn't quite appreciate Link hanging around his daughter.
He's like, hey, don't touch my daughter. I'm just gonna stand here and cock block you.
Yeah, essentially. But we're done. We're done with Maid Village. We're just gonna carry on our way, and we're finally almost ready to go to Dungeon 4, but first we have to get the key. We have to unlock D4, so we're going to take Marin to Animal Village, and we're going to wake up the walrus. But strangely enough, even though we have Marin and we can simply take her to the walrus and activate the cutscene normally, we're still going to use a bomb trigger to activate the cutscene from the edge of the screen. It saves us time in terms of not requiring extra menus, and we'll actually see the cutscene ends a little quicker because Marin leaves the screen a lot earlier.
Yeah, it saves like maybe a couple seconds. In other categories where we never get Marin, it saves a lot of more time.
Yeah.
so Bamboo now also doing more skip. A bomb trigger is when we put 2 bombs down while transitioning, and that's not supposed to happen. So the game is just like, oh no, what do I do? Guess I'll just trigger a cutscene.
Or rather, it's when you place 2 bombs in a very short frame window from each other, and we can abuse transitions to do that. And we're going to see later, probably, these runners also using dropping bombs into pits to achieve the same thing. And we saw aulos there actually using a bomb trigger again to collect that heart piece without having to do the full puzzle of that little cave. So we see bomb triggers not just activating, you know, more important objects like the walrus to skip cutscenes and such, but also just for smaller things like collecting a heart piece a bit easier. And aulos playing with fire a little bit, dancing around the pit there, the sand pit. Not falling in, but I gotta be honest, I kind of want to see him fall at some point. He's playing with fire.
Yeah, he was being very risky.
Yeah, but we see Bamboo here now catching up. He's gonna shoot 2 arrows immediately when he enters the screen. And you might not believe it, but there's a mini-boss there, Landmolus, who just died instantly.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a little-known fact.
Good to know.
So they both came here to get the key. That was the D4 key they collected from Landmolus. They are able to collect a heart piece while they're down there in a very well-hidden cave. They collect 1 seashell along the edge of the desert here, and then they carry on their way. But before fully continuing on, they're going to get their first song of the game by talking to Marin here and have a little bit of a duet.
Okay. And now, they're finally gonna make their way over to Dungeon 4.
And
they're
worth
done
noting
collecting everything.
And worth noting too that it's actually really easy to accidentally. Marin asks you afterwards if you understood, like if you remembered the song, and it's very easy to say no, which means you have to listen to the entire little cutscene over again.
Oh god.
But we see that warp now coming into play. They were able to warp back to this waterfall very quickly to unlock D4, and then we're going to see them climb the mountain. And yes, to answer chats, we're going to see both these runners go for Red Tunic, I'm pretty sure. They're both viable options in the current route, but most runners opt for the extra offense that the Red Tunic provides.
Alright, making their way through this cave. And coming up on one of the most important tricks in the run, obstacle skip, where if you're high enough when you transition, you can buffer jump out of the screen, just like that, and just jump over the obstacle. And aulos got it. It saves like 1/4 of a second, and if you fall, it wastes like 2 seconds. But it's very important.
Very important. So this is a new addition to the route. We're going to see aulos here do a Jesus jump by, well, we actually saw them do this earlier before D3 as well, by pausing on the frame that Link splashes the water. He gets another input before he drowns, and he can kind of just hop across the water. So he does that to get to this higher part of Tal mountain range a bit earlier. And he's going to grab a seashell up here and get this photo of the mouse photographer falling off the bridge.
Butt sword.
We would usually do this little cleanup section later in the run, but
Bamboo.
But it turns out that this, we do this early now to get a seashell early enough such that we can go back and get the second reward from the seashell mansion. And aulos getting a bit of a butt projectile rather than the butt sword there.
Right. He did. So
So
aulos
aulos
is
is-
already in D4. Bamboo's
Yeah,
still getting his
finally.
picture.
So that was about a 12 to 15 minute interlude between D3 and D4. So there's two small keys on this side of the dungeon, but we're going to see runners only grab a single one of them, and then sequence break the dungeon by doing that pretty easy jump to go from the right side to the top side. And we're going to see him do another Jesus jump here to get to the other side of the dungeon without having to fight the mini-boss. Normally you'd need the flippers to cross that gap, or casually you'd have to go through, fight the mini-boss to even get the flippers. But instead we just have to solve this silly little floor puzzle, and we're right at the flippers. Ooh, and Allo's getting a chest turn, saving a frame.
Very, very important time saves.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Well,
aulos
luckily
is
it's a
now
swag
going...
move that saves time as well.
aulos is going to super jump to the boss key by tinking off this P-hat once, which
Ooh.
flips him into the left wall, and then doing it again to get onto the platform. And that actually saves about 4 seconds over just grabbing the pots and then super jump from the left. And it's actually really hard.
Yeah, the time save comes pretty much entirely from the fact that you don't have to equip the bracelet. Otherwise you would. Allo's luckily getting it second try. It's a really cool looking trick. It's also really tough to time. People will say it's easy when you learn it, but
It's not.
It's not, no. And the other skip is just so much easier by comparison, even if
Yeah,
you're good at
Bamboo
the hard one.
is not going for it.
Yeah, we see him already equipping the bracelet. Honestly, I can't blame him, given the difficulty of the skip, especially in a race setting. You don't want to, 4 seconds of safety. It's not that bad. Ooh. Almost too late. He missed his first chance at the super jump, but he was able to get it.
Yeah, it was close.
And yeah, the boss of D4 melting in front of Aulos' eyes. We see Bamboo doing the same strat. He's going to release a spin. He's going to release a spin when he first enters the boss fight, equip the bomb arrows, and 2 quick shots, and that's all of his health gone.
Time for best song. Alright, it is time to move on, I guess. So yeah, there's pretty much just one best song in between the runners right now.
And I have to tell you, I really appreciate commentating with someone who knows and understands the best song.
Yeah, it's very important.
Because like that Curvone guy, he's always claiming that worst song is best song, and it's just,
Yeah, we should ban that guy, to be honest.
So Aulos, after collecting the song, he came over here and entered that flooded cave that seemingly has nothing in it. But if you dive, there's a hidden heart piece there that's pretty tough to find casually.
Alright, so now, our friend Mr. Ghost joins us, and he will join us until we take him to his grave. And he will actually also prevent us from entering any dungeons. And in any other category, we would do different dungeon orders to make him never spawn. But we need to take a picture with him, so we need to do the entire side quest.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the picture with him, we would skip him entirely because he's a huge detour, he's a huge pain, and even just having him with us, he constantly, every screen transition, makes that really annoying sound that you guys hear, and every once in a while he'll just talk to us. Just random text boxes.
Yeah, it's horrible. Alright, so they, Aulos just did a bomb trigger there to just cut straight into the end of this trade sequence, which we haven't even started. And he just gets the mermaid's bra. And he's going to do a save and quit, frame perfectly. He can buffer it though. On this mermaid, so let's see how many buffers he gets. I think that's early. Five or less is still pretty good, considering that's frame perfect, and he got 5 buffers.
I think 5 still saves time, doesn't it?
I think it saves 14 seconds. if you get it first try.
Right. So yeah, so 5 would still save time. So that was still a pretty good luck.
Yeah. And he just bumped off that Zora's projectile with the shield, which clipped him into the side of the thing, which let him super jump to the other side without needing the hook shot. So we can now grab the boomerang early.
Yeah, and that was a trick that used to be extremely slow or extremely daunting, but we've recently incorporated it into the run with some pretty easy to use setups to now get magnifying lens early.
Ooh, Bamboo messed it up.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of YOLO'd it, eh?
Might have. Alright, they should get it this time.
He might have paused too late, but we'll see.
Nah, he's fine.
Oh, the ghost!
Oh my god, what? What?
I've never seen that. Okay, I think he's
No.
okay. He's good.
That was... Wow.
He might be too far to the right.
No, he's okay.
Okay, yeah, he got through. But that was unfortunate.
That was... wow. He
Yeah.
must have gotten really scared there.
So that's what we talk about with the ghost being extremely annoying. Not usually so detrimental, but that was pretty rough.
Yeah, that was... really weird.
So the reason we see runners getting the magnifying lens, well, at all in the run, but this early, is they want to get the boomerang. And so after we see Aulos here taking the ghost to his old house, and we're then going to see him open this cave and get a boomerang from a Guria, and that cave is usually empty unless you have the magnifying lens. The reason that we get the magnifying lens before Dungeon 5 is because the boomerang will actually allow us to do a glitch called early hookshot, as we'll see coming up, that allows us to skip probably 2/3 of Dungeon 5 and get through it a minute and a half faster than normal.
Meanwhile, Bamboo not forgetting this fisherman picture.
Very important. It's actually kind of easy to forget with the new save and quitting at the mermaid route.
Yeah, it is. Just gotta remember you gotta enter the thing both times.
Yeah, but just with the old route, you would kind of visit the fisherman, get the seashell, get the scale, and then immediately go back to the fisherman, so it was hard to forget. So Aulos now just coming... Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say that he's not using boomerang shots, which is actually slightly faster, because you can just shoot the boomerang at the bushes and it just instantly gives you the seashell as well.
Yeah, that's because the boomerang can cut down bushes, and it'll also collect objects and bring them back to Link. So by using the boomerang on a bush that contains something like the seashells, it does save a bit of time by collecting it much quicker, but I don't think it's much of a it's not really a huge time save, and we see Aulos opting for the sword strats instead. And to be honest, he might just do that out of consideration for his menu route.
Yeah, possible.
Like, I know I tried to route in the boomerang there last night, and it kind of messed everything up for me, so perhaps that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, it doesn't save much time anyway. Also now getting the arrow capacity upgrade.
And this is probably, once again, getting this arrow upgrade, he has to be very careful not to accidentally upgrade his powder. And this one is even more dangerous than the first one, because he's currently, I didn't see the count, but at this point in the run, you're either very, very low on arrows or completely out of arrows, and we need them for the dungeon coming up. Or rather, it makes everything much easier coming up. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, now finally getting rid of the ghost, taking him to his grave, going through the 3 different cutscenes.
Yeah. The ghost, then the owl, then the picture. Also, I kind of threw around the term menu route, but for those that don't know, I'm sure you guys have noticed that we can kind of put items anywhere on our menu, and it's kind of up to us to keep track of where things are. So a lot of runners will try to keep track, or try to route out exactly where their items go, when they equip items, so that every run it's consistent, so they can make their menus much quicker. because you may not believe it, but there's over 100 menus throughout the course of a run, and you can lose minutes to slow or bad menuing.
Yeah, it's very important to have a menu route or something like it.
Yeah, or at least to be comfortable or have a general idea of where things go.
Alright, Aulos now entering Color Dungeon, where we're gonna be getting the rest of our rupees.
Yeah, another recent addition to the route, where there's a hidden room in this dungeon early on that contains, I think, 175 rupees? Or 200? I can't remember the exact number. But we're going to be actually coming through this room twice, so we're going to come through here first time and collect a good number of rupees. But oddly enough, you having completed that room and collected those rupees, it's not stored in your file, it's not stored in your save RAM. It's just stored generally in the game's memory. So when these guys save and quit coming up here, if they were to go back to that room, the rupees would still be gone. So in addition to saving and quitting, they're going to actually hard reset their console to refresh the memory, thus allowing them to revisit that room and recollect the rupees. So it's a very odd thing that we noticed recently, but it helps us a lot to get the bulk of our rupees at this point in the run.
Alright, so they're now going to sunlock this mini-boss by just jumping at him and using powder, and he's dead.
Aulos did some weird jumps going in there, so I was a little worried for the quick kill, but didn't seem to be an issue at all.
Yeah, this is where he is going to be saving and quitting and then hard resetting. Also, Game Boy player, dance game.
Well, either that or he's using a Game Boy interface with the default fade out, which is a mistake, but you know, it's not a big deal. If he wanted to play it risky, he could have started the reset fade out as he was saving and quitting.
Ooh, that would have been risky, yeah.
Yeah. And now, using arrows on this stone Hinox to kill him extremely quickly, but odd mechanic of that boss is that no matter how quickly you fire those arrows, the second one will never hit him. I'm pretty sure it actually simply clinks off of him. So you always need to fire a third arrow after the text box there.
I always just thought he took 3.
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I always notice that the second one either clinks off the wall because he jumps, or it might even just clink off him.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. I haven't actually looked into it.
Also, we completely forgot to talk about the bingo room that just happened.
Yeah,
which
very important
is
room.
just an RNG fest.
It's actually really fun, though. Even when it goes bad, it's just a really fun room to execute.
Oh god, no, it's horrible.
I don't blame you for calling it horrible. Well,
we'll see Bamboo doing it soon.
Yeah. And Aulos taking care of the boss here. Kind of a gimmicky boss in that he's got a static max health, but if you don't kill him quickly enough, he'll slowly regain health. But by just getting in his face and mashing arrows, we can kill him pretty quickly. It only becomes troublesome if he kind of fires projectiles at you that'll block the shots.
Well, not even. It's just if he moves out of your way, then things just go bad.
Well, that too, because for whatever reason, you get knocked back when you attack the boss, which makes sense if you're using a sword, but it happens even if you're firing arrows at him. So, lots of weird things about that boss that can kind of make it difficult, but ultimately it's not too bad.
Bamboo kind of messing up the bingo room there, but still got it pretty nicely.
Yeah, so you have to get each enemy into the specifically colored hole, and it looks like he had a little bit of trouble.
Oh no, Bamboo messed up.
Oh, he did a corner.
I hope he knows what he did. He doesn't know what he did.
It's the Xander curse.
Yeah, no, okay, he has to... Oh no, he had it back to the start, and he didn't realize. Okay, he fixed it. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. That room is so horrible to fix if you mess up.
Well, because we're firing arrows at it, so it's very easy to, like, if you miss a shot of an arrow, it's kind of like, well, which one did I hit with my arrow? And while the puzzle's very easy to start with, if you don't know where you screwed it up, it can be a nightmare.
Yeah. The thing is, like, The first one and the last two are fine, but when you go to hit the bottom one, your sprite is like partially in the middle one, and it just hits the middle one for no reason sometimes. Well,
Yeah.
if you're too high.
Well, at least Bamboo's gotten through that. We've seen both runners take the red tunic. And unfortunately, we missed the signpost maze. Well, we'll talk about it with Bamboo, but he's completed it fine. He's found Mamu's hidden cave, and he's going to pay 300 rupees to get a solo performance of an unreleased single.
AKA worst song.
Hashtag worst song. And it's not really coming through too well in the stream, but when you're playing this game, it's pretty much a seizure fest, where to simulate the transparency, the game just alternates full black and no black at 30 frames alternates at 60 frames per second to simulate transparency, and it's just awful.
And Bamboo is doing what I like to call the Dumb Sagas jump, where you have to clip into the donut block and just like do a diagonal dash jump essentially, and it's just horrible.
It's a jump that's free until it's not.
Yeah. If you know what you're doing, it's free, but if you don't, then it's just horrible.
Because I've done it a ton of times, and every time it's felt fantastic. And then last night, I pulled a U, and I failed it like 5 times in a row, and I couldn't figure it out.
In my PB, I failed that for 30 seconds.
Which seems so silly, but I understand now.
Yeah.
But we see Bamboo making quick work of the signpost maze. It's simply just follow the arrows, points to the other signs. The trick is really just to not accidentally speak to the same sign twice in a row, and thus failing the puzzle. And Aulos has just collected the silliest heart piece in the game, swimming all the way around the Canalet moat, and then diving underwater. Luckily, we know where it is, but I'd be surprised if you did when you were a kid playing this.
Oh, Aulos not getting the swag here. Disappointing.
That's such a shame. Well, maybe we'll see if Bamboo gets it. If you jump into that house, the cutscene doesn't really update Link's sprite, and it looks like Link kind of somersaults into the room. I really miss having the magic rod.
The room.
Yeah, I really miss having the magic rod going into that room, because it looked like Link was sort of pirouetting towards the Zora.
Yeah, I like the magic rod animation better.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with the change in dungeon order, we no longer get the magic rod before D6. But Aulos is now coming up through here, and we're gonna see him navigate the Armos maze.
Ooh, Bamboo almost forgot the heart piece here.
Oh, did he? Wow. It's so easy to forget. It doesn't matter what point in the run you get this Canalet heart piece, it never really feels on the way.
Yeah, because it's just like 30 seconds of swimming.
Yeah, and it's just kind of you have to break your warps to just kind of, oh right, I have to go to Canalet. But we just saw Aulos there going down a little side path in the Armos maze, and there was a little hidden cave there under one of the Armos Knights. And that was to get one of our last, not our last, seashell. Before carrying on to the Armos mini-boss here, that he's gonna make really short work of, thanks in part due to the knockback effect he gets from the red tunic here. So we see that the red tunic doesn't give him any bonus damage against the Armos Knight, it still takes 6 hits, but the knockback effect from the red tunic lets him kind of corner him in there, and he's no threat at all.
Also, Bamboo got the swag.
What was the swag?
Good job.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I was looking at all those.
Also, clipping past one of these Armos here, so he doesn't have to hit them out of the way.
And yeah, responding to chat, we don't have Raft Ride in almost any of our categories. The only category that you see the Raft Ride in is specifically we have a meme category where we complete the world map. But
yeah.
there's absolutely nothing of value in the Raft Ride itself. It's just kind of a mini-game way to collect rupees that takes you down to the D6 area.
Alright, Alright, and Aulos is now making his way over to D6. Alright, and you'll see him using the boomerang here. We used to actually just equip bomb arrows, but because we have the boomerang early now, we can just hit the switch with it like that and not have to wait for a bomb to explode. And let's see if he does this room properly. He does. Sometimes, if you do that room wrong, one of the Zulls will just not die, and you just have to equip sword, and everything is horrible. Also, he accidentally fell down with the Goomba. So he had to equip Feather, and then re-equip bomb arrows. It was pretty bad. So yeah, he's now making his way over to get the level 2 bracelet. And that's also the only reason we even came into this side of the dungeon. That's the only thing of value there. And now he's just going to go and get to the boss, pretty much. Also, you can hit these tiles before they shoot at you. Always getting those double hits. Alright, now this room can be a pain. If you don't place your bomb correctly or slash your sword at the wrong time at one of those wrist robes, one of them will just stay alive and you have to wait for it and hit it, and it's horrible.
And what really makes that room so annoying is specifically having the red tunic. That knockback effect kind of sends the wizard flying. So you either have to hit him in a position such that even after he goes flying, he still lands in the bomb's range, or you time it such that he's kind of passing through when the bomb goes off.
Oh god, what did the aulos do in this menu there?
I don't know. But he's going for the, I guess you could call it swag super jump there by dashing into the wall. I think it saves a little bit of time.
Yeah, I believe it saves like 2 seconds or something, maybe 4.
That much, really?
I think it's 2.
Yeah.
Also, Aulos adds skill heads.
Yeah, skill only, no luck involved. Like
what is that, like 5th try?
Yeah, that's what I counted, but I'm not very good at counting it.
No.
That's really not bad, you know?
Yeah, it's below average.
Yeah, so each of those horse heads is a 50-50 chance of standing up, and you need both of them to stand up. So you're looking at a 25% chance, so you know, an average of 4 attempts. So if Aulos got 5, that's not terrible.
Yeah, and Aulos is already at the boss, which really isn't a boss, because you can literally hit him 3 out of the 5 times before he even appears.
Yeah.
I mean, can you even call it a boss if it's just a face on the floor?
I don't know, maybe you're fighting the dungeon itself.
Oh, you probably are, yeah.
But yeah, it's funny, because when you're fighting the boss properly after his text box is there, his hitbox will only be active when his face has fully opened again. But for whatever reason, when the fight first starts, even though he's not visible, his hitbox is active. So it's just a really silly oversight from the developers there.
Also, Aulos not getting this swag here, where you can drop a bomb as you pick up the instrument, and you can just keep throwing it during the cutscene.
Yeah, you know, for a guy who likes his useless swag strats, I'm surprised he didn't go for the bomb.
Yeah, I'm quite disappointed.
Actually, no, that's a little harsh. I mean, he might like the useless swag strats, but he also likes, you know, time-saving swag strats too.
That is true. He sure does like his chest turns.
His chest turns, his hookshot jumps.
Ooh, Bamboo is not using his cartridge today.
No. 6, 7 tries.
Not good.
Yeah, not good, but not awful. But unfortunately for him, worse than Aulos.
Yeah, he must be using a different cartridge.
Yeah. I mean, as the community well knows, Bamboo's cartridge is a hacked cartridge that allows him amazing RNG and all these choke points.
He got really bad clip there.
And there's the level 2 sword. Aulos making his last trip to the seashell mansion. He has 20 seashells, gets the sword.
Meanwhile, Bamboo is still on Facade. And Aulos is making his way to D5. Also, jumping below the ceiling is actually faster because it moves you to the right a little bit.
Yeah, and it's actually a surprising amount of time if you mash really. I'm pretty sure when I tested it out, it was almost a full second if you didn't mash.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now then again, that's perfect mashing, but
Yeah,
still definitely worth going for.
Lot. Alright, so Aulos now coming up on a very dumb trick called early hookshot, where we're gonna use the boomerang to pull the key into the next room, and because there's something in that room, the game will be like, oh, there's something here. It must be the hookshot. And it just gives you the hookshot.
Yeah,
and
so
it's a 50% chance of working.
Yeah, so the next room over is where you would technically beat the final form, or the final fight of the Master Stalfos, where he gives you the hookshot. But he really just gives you a small key disguised as the hookshot. So the similarities allow us to just pull that small key into the other room and get the hookshot. So almost getting it second try, which is really good, and just carries on his way.
Yeah, second try is average. I never get first try. Or below 5 tries. Also, killing Master Stalfos with sword beams here. Normally you're supposed to use bombs or bomb arrows, but because we have the level 2 sword, we can also use sword beams. Yeah, so now he is just going to make his way over to the boss key. Getting chest turn and saving and quitting. And now he can just straight up make his way over to the boss. Yeah, and he can just skip all of the Master Stalfos fights, but except for the first one, because he already has the hookshot.
Yeah, normally D5 is just kind of a really long dungeon, chasing Master Stalfos around to get the hookshot, and normally, like in our main category, we don't even have the hookshot when we go to get the boss key. And so not only is the dungeon faster, but it also saves us that dumb jump to get the boss key, which is nice.
Oh my god, Aulos, please. Hookshot jumping over there.
Yeah.
Oh no, Bamboo.
I'm pretty sure you have to get a pretty early hookshot jump for it to save time though.
Yeah. Alright, Bamboo also gets a second try.
Okay, so at least they don't lose time versus each other.
Yeah. And now for the D5 boss, Wall Snake, it's actually faster to have Blue Tunic here. Because if you have Red Tunic, the boss has invincibility frames.
Oh, just missing that last
no.
hit. He's at 7 hits now.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that the Red Tunic is faster, but those invincibility frames that Xander mentioned make it harder to get 4 hits per cycle like we would with any other tunic.
Ooh, Aulos is really struggling here.
Yeah, now he's kind of at the whim of the game at this point.
Well, he really could have at least a couple of times been above or below the pit.
Yeah. But once it gets off script, it's really hard. It's really hard to get it back on track.
Yeah, he must have spent like 20 seconds there.
Yeah. We did see Aulos get 4 hits on his first cycle, but unfortunately just missed the 8th hit on the last cycle he had there. And for the first 2 cycles, it's very easy to position yourself above or below the pit, such that you can kind of react to wherever he spawns and still get to him. But once the tail kind of does its own thing, 3rd, 4th cycle plus, it's very hard to maintain that.
Yeah,
So
now
we'll,
just... Oh, go
we'll see how
ahead.
Bamboo's fight goes, because aulos did lose a decent amount of time there.
Not sure what aulos is doing. Oh, he's using some swag strats here.
He likes to take that stone and then bonk, bonk off the tree to go up there. I mean, obviously it's not faster than he's fallen 3 times, but I am curious to know if it's faster than stop falling, aulos. I'm curious if it's faster than going around like we usually do.
Oh,
Opting
definitely.
for the feather. Oh, that's a shame. There's nothing less swag than going for swag and giving up.
Yeah. No, that would definitely be faster if you get it the first try, but it seems like really dumb. Okay, let's see how Bamboo does on Wall Snake. Oh. Oh, I missed his first cycle, so I got really confused. So I think he did get a 3 cycle. Which is always fine. Alright, and now he's going to bomb trigger that heart piece, so he doesn't have to go out of his way to get it later. Let's see, obstacle skip, very nice.
And it's funny because we will actually be going right by the access point to that heart piece later in the run, but it's still faster to bomb trigger it while we're there rather than actually accessing it normally.
Yeah, it still takes like probably about 15 seconds to get it without the bomb trigger. Alright, aulos is now coming up on Rooster Skip. Let's see how he gets it. So he's going to, oh no! He might be... Okay, he's just saving and quitting for safety. So he's going to use a hookshot jump, which is essentially on the last frame, when the hookshot retracts, you can jump. And he's going to do that twice to get to the other side. But he actually fell as he opened his menu. So he just took the safety to save and quit, so he could hard reset if he fell. Oh
Which
no!
actually worked out for him here.
Yeah. Falling again.
I wonder what the time loss is for taking that safety save. Because it might not be a bad idea for in a race setting, considering that that otherwise failing Rooster Skip would cost you roughly, 30 to 40 seconds, depending on how it goes.
Yeah, because if you fall down here, it doesn't just put you back at the start of the room, it drops you down at the waterfall. And he gets it.
He gets it. And
So
I
this
have
is
to
gonna
tell you,
allow... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at a certain point there, a lot of runners will, go for the unbuffered hookshot jumps, and then when it starts to get dicey, they'll go for the buffer just to get through it, and aulos, the man of swag that he is, just toughed it out.
Yeah, this is gonna allow Bamboo to catch up a lot.
Yeah, we can see Bamboo's right on aulos' heels now.
Yeah, Bamboo is definitely back in the race. If he gets his first try.
Oh, almost
Very
double
nice.
firsties.
Wow.
First try and second try. That was
That was
fantastic.
really good.
Yeah, Bamboo is back in this. That is good.
Okay, so now aulos is going to make his way over to Dungeon 7.
A dungeon with a really cool gimmick that we just totally blow wide open.
Yep.
Pun intended.
Oh my god. You're going down a dangerous path.
I'm already gone.
Oh no.
But this dungeon, it's a dungeon that has 4 floors, and the top floor is supposed to be inaccessible until you've knocked down 4 pillars with a steel ball over the course of the dungeon, and there's a lot of puzzle involved with how do you get the steel ball to the various pillars to access the final boss. But luckily for us, we can use bomb triggers to take down every single pillar in short order, one after another, and get to the top level really quickly.
Hey, it's the ball you're supposed to use.
We actually see it in this run, but we just say, nope.
Yeah. We're just using bomb triggers to completely skip this entire dungeon, essentially. Aulos getting some really nice bomb triggers here, even that diagonal one.
Yeah, it's always nice to get the diagonal one first try.
Oh, and he was facing up, but then he still fixed his position. That was really, really nice.
And there it goes. We see Bamboo not going for quite as optimal menu reading through these pillars as Aulos did.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's more optimal. Not sure.
Well, no, what Bamboo's doing is the same, or worked out the same for him because he had to back up a bomb trigger.
I guess if you
But yeah, they're about the same, really. I shouldn't have said that.
Is doing what's called Goomba Surf, where he's going to do a naked super jump over the Goombas and then land on the platform. And he needs one of the Goombas to move into the right place. He got it first try.
Well...
Ish.
You'll see a lot of runners, if the Goomba doesn't immediately move the direction they want, they'll just re-transition until they get the Goomba to move to the right. We saw Aulos there instead waiting for the Goomba to move, and in his case it worked out, so... but to call it first try is a little disingenuous, but that was a very good attempt for him.
Yeah, let's see if Bamboo gets it. Come on.
Bamboo also doing a little bit of waiting, but unfortunately, the Goombas don't care what you want, they're gonna do what they want.
Yeah, no, he's definitely using a different cartridge.
Yeah, this is not the usual Bamboo.
There you go. He gets it.
Now, as you guys may have seen in previous races, there is an alternate strat to get around the boss key there, where you do a fun little super jump and clink off a P-hat to get through. And we see runners going for Goomba Surf because if you get perfect luck and get it first try, you'll save probably around 10 seconds to that super jump. But unfortunately for Bamboo there, for the amount of time that he lost on bad luck, it was entirely bad luck. It might have been faster to go for the super jump. So that's just one of those gambles that we see runners either take or not take in a race setting here.
Yeah, Goomba Surf can just be absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it really can.
A couple days ago, I was actually just sitting there for straight up for a minute, and they were not moving right. It can happen. It's what this game does.
Just because it's a 1 in 4 chance doesn't mean you're not going to get like a 20th try or something like that.
Exactly. Oh no.
Ooh. Well, not a big deal. All is just taking a short fall there, but it's very important that we skip Marin there. Because accidentally hookshotting, or purposely hookshotting through her to collect her means not only a cutscene with her, it means a cutscene with Terran, and it means the owl coming in to give you some much-needed advice, apparently.
So Aulos just did a picture check there, but I didn't actually see.
Well, we can assume it's all good. If we see him panic, we'll know.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I do believe he's fine.
I'm not sure why Aulos went around the other side of the staircase there.
I don't think it matters, it just puts you, like, it puts you out there when you leave on the other side.
It remembers your position?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
Oh. Well, let's see. That's interesting if that's true. But they're getting here, their third and final upgrade. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
So maybe he just dashed too far by accident, but...
Yeah.
They're getting the third and final upgrade. At this point, we've already upgraded arrows and bombs. The last thing is powder. It doesn't matter, but we gotta do it. Because up until this point, we've had more than enough powder without the upgrade to do everything we need it to do, and we're really not going to use it past this point.
Aulos getting eaten by the like there.
Yeah, sometimes he'll just move just the right way and grab you. And yet another bomb trigger here to activate the turtle head here. The game expects you to use that very expensive Mamu song to revive the turtle head there, but it's much faster to simply use another bomb trigger.
Also, the only place in the game where you do a super jump with a bomb arrow.
Just for swag.
Yeah, basically. You don't need to use a bomb, but why
Might
not?
as well. We got so many. Aulos setting up here. He wants to be on a specific 2-pixel window, get up against this ledge. He paused a bit early, but then he does what we call a... Well, we don't really have a consistent name for it, but we call it either the fast hook or the quick hook or the shot
like
fast
that.
or whatever. By having the... By having the hook shot on B and the feather on A, and buffering them out of the menu, you'll actually hook shot mid-jump. And when you hook onto something, you'll move twice as fast, which lets you clip further into that block than you should be able to, and lets you bypass that key block. So just one of those quirks where in this run, sometimes the priority of how the game processes your inputs matters, where it processes the B item before it processes the A item rather, before it processes the B item. Aulos now going for a lava swim. By doing a Jesus jump onto the lava and then transitioning, you can actually swim in the lava as if it's water and bypass the check where the game, wants to find out, is this lava or water?
No, well, the way I understand it, it's like you just transition on that lava and slash your sword, and the game's like, oh no, I don't know what to do. I'll just let you swim. That's how we should explain it, to be honest.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's kind of odd that the game treats lava as water in any way, because water and lava are actually two completely separate tiles. It's not like it's water tiles and D8 just makes them look like lava. They're completely different tiles in the game. So for the game to treat lava like water is just kind of an odd. It's just kind of odd. I'm not sure if they maybe intended to have lava flippers at some point, or who knows.
Lava flippers. That would be something.
That would be something. But Aulos there going to the top of the mountain, out the back of D8, and grabbing the very last heart piece. We see him getting a heart container, so we know he hasn't missed any. And here comes the dumbest boss in the game.
Hothead.
People will tell you he's random. He's not, but he might as well be. In that... Oh, that was an amazing cycle.
Wow.
I guess that's technically a 0 cycle. He got him killed on the first venture out of the lava. So when he first jumps out of the lava, the first hit will kind of send him spinning, and he doesn't take any damage at that point. You have to wait till he starts moving again before he'll take any damage. And each subsequent hit, you have to wait for his iframes to end before he'll take any damage. So if you just mash your fire rod on him, most of those shots aren't going to do any damage. So if you're just mashing, it comes down to a lot of luck, or you just have to try to time it really well to get in. Although we do see Bamboo getting some bad movement from him there. Oh!
Oh no!
He got the disclude! Why did he do this? Is he doing this on purpose?
He's doing this on purpose.
This is the disclude
He still had
hothead
a chance, man. Now he doesn't.
He probably didn't realize how close he was to Aulos. That's a real shame. Oh my god. If you hit Hothead on the frame that he's about to re-enter the lava, he'll get stuck in this state where he's locked in place, and his health actually overflows.
He's dead.
So you can still beat him, but by his health overflowing, a byte value back up to 255, you've got to get a lot of hits in to end it. And Bamboo is notoriously good at achieving that glitch and making fun of Disclude in the process. And unfortunately, he probably cost himself the run in going for that there.
Yeah. I guess his run's over, dude. Let's take one at a time in the lava.
The lava. But jeez, what a time to meme. That was so unfortunate.
Yeah.
But we see Aulos already at the egg here playing the Koholint theme. The first time we get to hear all 8 instruments playing together. And unfortunately we were talking over it, but oh my gosh, I just can't get over Bamboo deciding to do that. He must have thought that the race was over and he was just gonna meme for the hell of it, but if he hadn't done that, they would have been only like a couple of blue balls apart. if I had to guess, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my gosh. Well, I
That
mean,
sucks, dude.
well, coming up here, as we always mention, there's an Aghanim phase of the final boss where, unlike A Link to the Past, there's no limit on the number of cycles. There's no limit on the number of blue balls that he can send you. So, we like to say no one's ever down for the count because aulos here could get a new world record in blue balls, but,
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
well, let's hope it doesn't happen. But, well, I was hoping for a bit of a closer ending. It's too bad that Bamboo sort of threw it away like that.
Yeah. Okay, so aulos actually missed Blob Quick Kill there, which is actually RNG.
Yeah, that's another 50-50 sort of thing where you're not supposed to be able to damage the blob with your sword, but if you have like a single frame or two where you can get the blob to land on your sword and take hits from it. And worst case scenario, you'll get 1 out of 3 hits, which is what aulos got here. So he had to... yeah, I said 1 out of 3.
No, it's just counting blue balls.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're on to the Aghanim phase here. The first 2 are always shots that you can reflect back, but then everything after that is a 50-50 chance.
Okay, 1 blue ball.
Yeah, so that's not bad at all. The average would be, 2.
Yeah, so now aulos will pretty much have this in the bag.
Yeah. The awesome quick kill there from Moldorm, taking advantage of the level 2 sword and the red tunic. Ganon's no problem. Not going for Deathful Skip. Just,
I do believe Bamboo will be going for it.
I believe so too. Not a huge time save in this category, considering that the Lanmolas phase dies in 1 hit, as we're used to, and the final phase takes only a single hit from the boomerang. The only thing you have to worry about is how long does it take him to open the eye. Always getting trolled a little bit on timing there, but he's done. That was the final hit on the final boss, and GG to aulos. He brings this one home.
GG. And aulos finishes with an official SRL time of 1:22:26.
Bringing it home for France.
Yes, he is.
The wave of French runners is unstoppable. Do you know how many blue
They
balls
will
Bamboo has at
invade
this
our
point?
homes. Force us to do their routes and their swag strats.
Yeah, invading our memes and our runs.
Oh, there he is. GG,
Hey, Alice.
aulos. Congrats.
Yo, thanks. Gosh, my heart is dying.
So you weren't watching the race, eh? Did you know where Bamboo was?
No, not at all.
So he's just on Aghanim right now. You guys were so close. You pulled away from him really far, but then he caught up to you sort of through Rooster Skip there, and he was really hot on your heels. And then
He got a Disclude Hothead.
he did the Disclude Hothead on the Hothead fight,
Oh,
and
wow.
and just gave away like a whole minute. And so we have to assume that just as you thought you were behind, I'm sure he thought he was behind and just decided to go for it. But I mean, in the end, it didn't really matter because you only had the 1 blue ball from Aghanim. But yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking to see.
Right before Rooster Skip, I decided to lose 30 seconds on a freaking stupid trick. Like, the bonk didn't really happen well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I tilted
like-
so bad.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure this trick is faster, but not after falling in the pit 3 times.
Right. And on the Rooster Skip, I got very unlucky because on the very first gem when I pressed start to get the hook shot, I actually pressed start the frame I fell. So if I didn't save and quit, I would have, fallen down there. So I save and quit